Saturday real estate weekend roundup. We're going to tell you the facts, the figures, and the feelings around the grounds live with Billy and Glenn. Stay tuned.
Well, Billy, here we are, a little bit later than usual, and it's just been a busy day. But by the time we get back in, running half a dozen opens each, the day sort of gets away from you. And, you know, we always work on the premise what's best for our vendors. So we've been doing buyer calls and seller calls, and then back to the wrap up. Then we'll be back to it again. Could be a late night tonight, Billy.
It could be. Overall, a busy day. Many properties open. I think, what are we up to now? Probably 15 to 20 open homes.
15 to 20 open homes, and averaging probably 6 to 7 buyers through all our properties today. What's really interesting, however, is 76 properties for sale in DY. DY comprises of about 9,500 residents, so residential homes, and 76 on the market.
Yep.
And that's the highest we've seen for a long time, Billy. It's probably the highest we've seen in years. I think 2017 we averaged around 42 properties on the market.
Yep.
2018, after that boom, the market slowed a little bit. We might have got up to 70 to 80 properties on the market. Through COVID, there wasn't a lot of action, not a lot of people selling. Didn't know how that'd affect them. Market tightened up, probably around 40 to 50 properties. Just before the spring boom last year, we got down to about 30 properties for sale. Spring boom came, we went up to say 55. So 76 trombones led the big parade.
Yes.
And that's a pretty big number. However, buyer activity really strong. So people had a lot more to look at today, almost double what they probably had to look at week 1 in January.
Definitely.
But the numbers went half.
Yeah, definitely. And to put that into context, 5 to 10 groups through an open home is a really good number. Most of our open homes average that, but the record was a entry-level home in Elanora Heights, 13 groups. 13
groups through that, advertised on realestate.com. I think there was a couple of opens, and there's opens there tomorrow. When we run a Saturday, Sunday open, we do spread the buyers out over the 2 days.
Yes.
A little bit, but it's a fantastic opportunity for people to come back, have a second inspection before Monday. Show on Sunday, sale on Monday. That's the recipe we work on, Billy.
It is a
when
great
we're
segue.
Baking the real estate cake.
It's a great segue. Let's chat about new listings of the week, Glenn.
Okay.
We saw a lot.
We did. The one I liked. Look, I like them all, Billy. What was your one?
My favorite for the week was, well, we haven't actually seen it yet, but it will be a house we've got coming on in DY, top of DY, cusp of NARRAWEENA, 38 May Road. We're allowed to give you the address. There'll be more to come on that.
Gee,
in
Billy,
the
have
week.
we gone to DEFCON 5?
However,
you've given out the address.
This is a pretty exciting freestanding home coming on, renovated, really tidy, great first home, really good investment that you could potentially do some work to down the line, and that'll be coming on under the 2 mil mark. People love that price point. Anything under the 2 mil mark pops.
Well, what we had last week is we had the return of the attraction agent, Lisa Novak. I think she listed 6 properties 1 week. She hasn't been away or anything, but it was a pretty good job from her and the team. A lot of work goes into Lisa's properties. Her clients would be some of the best looked after in the business, and her team runs everything military precision. So a lot of work to get that 6 or 7 on this week. Billy and I have got a couple coming up next week. Stavan, the same. Sales last week. Favorite sale, Billy?
Well, can I just give a quick shout out to Rashan? Good afternoon. Hope you're having a great afternoon. That's really, really very kind. Thank you. Really, really nice to see you tuning in. Favorite sale of the week? Drum roll. I think it would have to be a property Stevan sold, and it did actually sell today, but a home he was working on prior to Christmas. Tricky circumstance, very emotional sale for the vendors. Been in the family a really long time. Many decision makers in that result in the end, and going to be a great home for a beautiful young family, I believe. However, the guide price there, $2.80 sold for 2.15 million. As I said, happy clients all round, but that's probably my favorite.
That was the one that we showed right through the Christmas break, put on just prior to Christmas. There may have been a thought from other agents to not to start till after the 26th of January.
Yep.
After Australia Day, run an auction campaign, but I feel we really tested the market with that one, got some great price feedback, and we were able to get it sold very early in February for a great price. The owners were able to really feel that, the property had been shown to a lot of people, and that was the best price out in the market for this current period.
Yeah. Another one that we exchanged last night, actually, myself and Mark, without blowing our own trumpets, it was a good result. Really, really happy for our first home buyer who ended up purchasing that home there. I have to say, Glenn, can't stress enough the difference of having a great broker and solicitor on your side.
Can't stress enough.
It is a great asset to your overall experience, your property purchase experience, having a quick, responsive, and contactable solicitor and broker that's going to help when you need them.
Well, I think if you don't, you'll probably miss out on something that you wanted to buy.
Yep.
Because you've got to wait till Monday, and it's not a race. It's not a race who buys the quickest wins. It's always price driven. But sometimes the owner feels, oh, look, I'm happy with that price. Believe it or not, some owners are quite, can I say kind to buyers, in the sense that they go, look, I've had some great capital appreciation out of this property. I'm glad it's going to a young home buyer. Look, if they can get it done tonight, I won't wait for Monday. I won't run another Saturday.
Yeah.
Because Friday sales are often where the owner says that. They said, look, if the buyer can get it done today, I can have a great weekend. I don't have to listen to Billy ring me up. We had 7 groups today, and they all were interested. You don't have to listen to that. And really, the owner's being very fair. Some owners will say to the buyer, yeah, tell them I'll take the offer and we'll do the paperwork on Monday because they want to run another Saturday. But if you haven't got someone on your side, a broker or a conveyancer that can work past 5 o'clock on a Friday, you might be running to Monday, and someone might come in and pip you by $5,000 or $2,500, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're at your limit, it could be $1 million.
Yep.
Buyers have limits. They have a self-imposed limit. I won't pay more than this, and they have a bank-imposed limit. Probably have a third limit, bank-imposed family and friends, where they ask mum and dad for another $5,000, or their brother. Or I can remember my brothers and sisters doing that over the years.
Yep.
I've never got anything back from it. I hope mum remembers that. But, that's sort of how it works. So sometimes, $2,000 or $3,000 can be that stretch just too far. But yeah, great sale. Really, really nice development, that one. That's one where, another thing, Billy, a really, really strong body corporate
yeah,
can solve anything. So if you're a buyer and you going into a property with a few quirks,
Mm-hmm.
and what it could be balconies need replacing, could be some water ingress and need more waterproofing.
Mm-hmm.
If you can spend some time and get yourself on the body corporate, you can get that all fixed up. It's money and time.
Yep.
The money's shared by everyone else in the body corporate, and the
Yep.
time is something that most people won't give. That property there, they had a lot of problems. We used to call it not Grand Reef, Grand Grief. My mother lived in there, but they were really fortunate. Bronka Stankovic might know this. They had a guy called Laurie Kennedy, who was the building manager there, and he got them $7 million in the court case and got the work done. And now the Strata report reads
really well.
Interesting, but the end of it's a love story, because everything's looked after. Started off like a Shakespearean tragedy and ended up a love story. So, you know, sometimes if you take a bit of a risk, you'll get a bit of a gain.
Yeah.
But you've got to be prepared to work.
Yep. On to the next segment of the show, rental market update.
Yeah, well, look, I was looking at one today that rented in Pacific Parade, 56 Pacific Parade. The old rent was 700.
Yep.
The new rent, 999.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So 58 Pacific Parade is, you know, closer towards Pittwater Road than what it is DY Beach.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice proximity to city transport and all the amenities DY has to offer, but still that's a high rent. So if you're an investor out there, the rents are coming back. The great Zach from Shore Finance, every Monday, 7:30 in the morning, writes to us the week ahead what the predictions are for interest rate. He sees 0.6 off the cash rate by the end of the year.
Yep.
For investors, it might be a good time to start buying. Buy when the rates are a little bit high, benefit from them coming down, paying more off your principal and rents increasing. For tenants, there might be a silver lining, but not in the short term. The state government is starting to draft proposals to increase the number of blocks that can be subdivided.
Yeah, density.
So, you know, people on a big block can put another house in the back. You think, how does that affect me as a tenant? I'm not going to rent that. Well, look, for what you might find is someone that's in the unit goes and buys it,
Yep.
and an investor comes in and buys that unit. More properties for rent, cheaper it is.
Yep.
I'm a firm believer there needs to be great incentives for large developers, build to rent.
Mm-hmm.
Billy, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think they're trying to solve the rental crisis with a simple supply and demand equation. Trying to help put supply back into the marketplace will give people more choice, will free up options for families to move into bigger and better opportunities. And one way of doing that is looking at the density around certain pockets of shops, transport, health, and working out where they can best facilitate the next greatest and, biggest and greatest.
So density basically means we're just going to go higher without multi-story development. So most of DY is capped around 7 stories. Maybe we go like 12 stories and expand vertically rather than horizontally. No one really wants that. They don't want it in my backyard.
Yep.
But, the trade-off of not having it is that where do we all live? Predictions are that we'll get by June of 2034. I might not be around. Joe Biden won't be around, that's for sure. I sounded like him then. But we're going to get to 34, 36 million. Huge increase. Even if we only get to 32 million, it's still 6,000 million new people in Australia. 2.5 people live in every house. I don't know who's the 0.5 in your family, Billy, but it's it's definitely me and mine, and my wife and my daughter, and then I'm just half a person. And you know, that will equate to about 2.4 million homes. We're only building 170,000 currently at the moment. We're going to be short another 700,000. So possibly if you're a tenant and you see these issues coming up, or if you're a parent like me and you want your kid to live near you and it to be somewhat affordable, we're just going to have to bite the bullet with density. Unfortunately, in Sydney, we can't expand at the moment much past the Blue Mountains, and we're there already. So we're just going to have to go up. Traffic problems, you know, parking problems and all that. But unless you want to pay $2 million in 15 years for a one-bedroom unit in DY, these will be the solutions. And, you know, having, you know, build to rent will also offer people that prefer to stay in rented properties and not, you know, put all their money into a home. It will give them the opportunity and the safety, you know, to be in a property they can rent their entire life, because it's not going to be sold.
That's it. That's the barbecue bits part of the show. Really, really good summary there. Glenn, what's on for the weekend?
I was meant to go out to my family's away. I was meant to go out with my brother tonight, but I might just make a tuna salad and watch Netflix. I used to say Netflix and chill, and all the young kids would laugh at me. Then I Googled it, and it's not what you think, guys. Like, it's,
Be careful out there.
Yeah, be careful saying that and trying to be the cool kid. And then tomorrow, I will. I'll go down to the amazing North Kilkeel Surf Club, where grass is green and water blue, and I'll have some dinner and maybe 1 or 2 beers.
Lovely.
And walk home. Billy, this is always the part of the segment I get a bit nervous. What are you up to tonight?
Nothing too interesting. Last weekend was Chinese New Year. This weekend will be something maybe a little bit more tame. Next week, going on a little adventure up to Newcastle. So yes, do love a little getaway. It's only for a couple of nights, but lovely to see something new.
Fantastic. Everyone have a great weekend. As always, any questions buying, selling, leasing or renting out your property, more than happy to help. If you're worried about the housing crisis, well, we can solve it by building more homes, basically. So get on board with that. And we're around tomorrow if you need any help on a Sunday. Oh, that's right. That's right, Billy. Just give us a shout. What ones are you showing tomorrow? I've got a one and a half bedroom. It's as big as a 2-bedroom in DY, and another ground floor 2-bedroom apartment in Sturdy Parade across the road from Coles. So those half a bedrooms, they're good for the 2.5 people in the family. That's it. Signing off. Have a good weekend. Bye.